welcome back. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm really excited to begin a brand new series for everybody. I know that you've been asking me for videos and what's the new stuff. So here's the new stuff, guys. We are going to sit down with a bunch of Las Vegas fighting games competitors, and I want to show them all off to you guys. I love the Las Vegas scene, and I want to show you guys why I think so. Today we have our first guest for this episode, my man's Verfortiso. What's you say a few words for us?
Hey guys, my name is Verfortiso. I was born and raised over here in Las Vegas for the majority of my life. Nice to meet you all,
Awesome,
and thanks for
awesome.
letting me have me on here.
Yeah, of course, man. You're always welcome, and I'm really glad that you decided to stop by. So, a few questions before we get into some games, because I do want to ask you about the games. What got you initially into fighting games?
Yeah, so I've always been a competitor and always will be a competitor, and the majority of, at least for gaming, with me has been team-oriented games, such as League of Legends, the Overwatch, CS:GO, anything that involved a team. And at a certain point, I took a good look at myself and said, okay, I love team games. However, what happens if I decide to just go by myself and go into a genre that I never really thought about? That it's basically me and my opponent and our dedication to the game. And that's where it really sparked my drive to play fighting game, because at the end of the day, it's not you're dealing with a team, it's you and your opponent and the game itself. And that, seeing how far I can go with just my own ability, is what really drove me into this type of community, this type of game.
That's amazing, man. That's really cool to hear. And to add on to that a little bit, like what changed to where you were, just playing fighting games to be playing fighting games to the point where you want to start competing or enter online tournaments or even local tournaments? Like, what was that thing that got you to do that?
Well, it didn't really happen until I went to a major with a couple of Vegas locals. You may know them as Metal 32 or Ario or
Yeah.
Yurikuma. It was in 2019 over at Arc Revo, California. And I didn't participate in the tournament. I was simply there to support my friends and to try out the new demos that they had for games such as Guilty Gear Strive,
Yeah.
and at the time BB Tag 2.0 and Grand Blue when it was still in the demo format. And I wasn't I wouldn't say I was super casual or I was competitive. I just like playing the games. And when I went there, it really dawned on me when you enter the atmosphere where you see all these competitors from variety of different ages, from new to old to young to old, from variety of different skill levels fighting against each other, with the only thing is their character, their own knowledge, and their own dedication. And it was a really cool moment. But what really solidified it for me was when we were in a hotel and all of my friends were at the television going over their own matches. Each one of them, even though they lost at a certain point in brackets or in pools, they look at their losses and they said, okay, what can I do to get better? What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again? Or how can I be on it? And so and so and so. And when I saw that with my very own eyes, I was almost it was almost exhilarating.
Yeah.
It's they took the moment of their loss and transformed it for newfound strength in order to continue on. And at that moment, when we were driving back home, and they were still talking about their own matches, still talking about the game, I said, I want to be a part of this. I want to pick up a controller. I want to play a game, put all my time into it, compete, because at the end of the day, I want to be that individual where it says, all right, who am I fighting? All right, I'm going to dedicate my time to you and you alone, because I want to make sure I beat you and get further than what I can previously. Because to me, that's what makes fighting games so great. That you can, even if you win or even if you lose, you still have something to improve on. And that really didn't happen and click with me until I saw it in person at a major.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. It's great to see, and hear about that type of experience. I had something similar to that when I was first introduced to the Las Vegas scene, and I just really appreciated how welcoming they all were, and in regards to just games in general. So that's amazing to hear. And right now, I feel like I would like to see all this work. Let's get some games in, man. Let's see what's up.
Yeah, for sure. Let's have a go at it.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and see this little right booth over here.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Alrighty, now I've seen the gameplay before, man. I've seen you got a nice Catalina.
Yeah, I've been told I have a really good Catalina. Even though a lot of people have dropped right still.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna get you. Here we go. Oh, the intro, the anti-air. Oh, let me get out. The anti-air again. You live here. This is the corner. Welcome. Oh, I blocked. Oh, I was trying to go for the forward there.
Nope. I can press it button, bro. Those little moments I always
Oh, nice. Oh, good throw. That's dagger pressure. Alright, we do this. Oh!
What happened there?
I tried to do the forward B, and now it's got it just got swallowed by a throw. Oh, good break.
Oh, nice.
We're Dragon Ball players. We play in the air. We press buttons. Ooh. Good break. Ooh, the pokes.
There you go. That's screen away.
So the main thing for me, just by, just to comment on the game, I feel like I love playing this game just for the fact that it is slower pace. Like, it's like, I feel like if we say balancing, I think of this game. Like, I think of it being somewhat, like, fair when you have, I guess not so much wiggle room to, like, kind of go crazy, like, with other games or fighting games that have an excellent, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The exceptionally long list of moves that they have. So, for example, like Tekken, each character in that game has, like, 100+ moves. But in this game, you get, like, a solid amount of casts, and I feel like it's really solid because you get your moves, you get your meter, and it's not too fast. This is like a feel-good game.
Yeah, pretty much. This game is, even though a lot of people will say it's a very friendly game, it is true. It's a very friendly game. Anybody can pick this game up, and pretty much enjoy it to a point where they have a grasp on it. They know what they're doing, and they feel in control the majority of the time. And then once you put the effort in and learn what everyone does, you have to kick it up a level, because even though it's simple, it's a little bit deeper, because the characters themselves may not have an extraordinary amount of depth, but the player controlling it will, and that's where the main portion of the game comes out.
I see.
So unlike Tekken, where you have hundreds of moves, because I looked at them quite a bit, it's amazing for people like Tekken to know the frame data of all their moves, but for gambling, you can kind of just pick it up and just enjoy yourself, just playing with friends or just going at it and fighting. Because even though some characters can blow you up in 2 hits in the incorrect situations, at the very core, we're still going to have to go back and forth, poke at each other, block, and make sure that we're putting ourselves in better scenarios that don't require us to take extended gambles.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes.
Even if I do stuff like that, I still have to put you in the corner, and I still have to have the resources in order to do something.
Exactly.
I can't just spam all my EX moves and get you in the corner, and then I have nothing to actually do damage.
Right. It's like a matter of actually putting in that extra step of effort to just know when you can bust out a combo in a situation. You know, when you have those optimal routes ready to go, it makes it a lot easier when you get a certain hit confirms. So I can definitely agree with all that. You know, let's get one more match in, and then I want to ask a little more about Grand Blue specifically.
Yeah.
Believe in victory. Battle 1. Engage.
Sweat mode activate. Ha! Oh, the anti-air. Let's go.
Can't jump. That's the one thing in this game you don't want to. Ooh.
It's a no-fly zone.
It's the one thing that happens. You learn this game that fighter gets to the point with a good anti-air. You're gonna have to play on the ground.
I see.
So making sure you're using all of your characters' strengths is very important.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice one, bro.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
I didn't think I'd get that confirmed.
Battle 2. Engage.
I like jumped over, tried to do a backdash back. I'm like, wait, this isn't fighters. I can't air dash twice. Oh, good break. No fly zone.
That one right there. You step back just a little bit.
Oh, that's here.
Oh, nice. Oh. You go a little bit too eagerly. Okay, what you got?
Oh, nice. So many folks, man.
She's meant for that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do this quick return. And then, yeah, so I know there's a few things about fighting games that I usually want to ask when I want to learn about the game. So, especially with this game, I would consider myself a introductory or a newer player for Grand Blue specifically. So, I would ask, firstly, what do you think is like your favorite move in the game, like period?
It would probably have to be Catalina's 214M, which is commonly known as, if I remember off the top of my head,
Moveless!
it's her pretty much her lunge. It's her lunge enchanted lands, and the majority of what I like about it the most is that it's such a simple move where it's just she lunges forward at you.
Mm-hmm.
And if it connects, you're either do a soft knockdown or a hard knockdown, depending on which move it is, and if it's a counter hit or not. So on paper, it's a very simple move, and it's very easy to dodge. If you know it's coming, you can just jump up in the air and do an air button such as jump heavy, or if you're really good at your timing, you can do a spot dodge or a roll if so much. And in some cases, you can even super it or DP it. So it has a lot of weaknesses. However, what I enjoy about the move a lot is particularly the way I use it is on the medium version.
I see.
The medium version pulls my hurt box back. So when I use it, I take a step back and then I lunge towards you. In my games, in my game style, the way I play is that I will try to space as best I can to get a medium enchanted lands out, hit you at the very tip of it. And even if you block it, that's perfectly fine.
Hmm.
And because of the way the game is, it is now your turn because I am -8. The majority of it. However, if I space it just correctly, there's not a lot of characters that can punish this properly, and especially with online, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Is I'm able to do another one, which means I can pull my hurt box again back and actually with punish.
I see. Okay.
And it's more of a mind game because for the opponent is he going to do it again? Is he going to forcibly take his turn back?
Right.
Or am I safe to press a button here and start my own pressure? And even on the EX version of it, where I'm able to hold it, it's a more of a chicken game. It's when am I letting go of this button to dash at you? And the same weaknesses still apply. But with one more added factor is that I control when I want to lunge. Because of the way the game is that any grounded move is unblockable in the air. Most opponents will decide to jump and get a full punish off of it. However, if I'm able to read the opponent, I am able to use EX lunge, and they can't block it in the air if I time their jump animation just as they're about to lift off the ground, because they can't block it at that point. And
Interesting.
if you're in the corner, you see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like the corner is a dangerous place in Grand Blue Versus. Like, if you're there, if you're on the pressure side, is great. If you're blocking, it's like it's a hard time.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
how most games revolve around.
So I want to ask another question. Ideally, with this game, I see that it is somewhat like slower pace. But would you have any advice on how players or introductory players should play the neutral?
On honestly, when an introductory individual comes and decides to play Grand Blue, as I have taught some of my friends before, neutral is not something that you pick up and able to do in a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly limit testing your character and figuring out for yourself what makes you work with your character. Characters that have very slow buttons obviously have to space it out, because an opponent such as Catalina or a Gran in this case, or Lancelot have very fast buttons. They can pretty much just whack you as you're trying to hit one of your slower, larger moves. What I would say to people that try to come into this game looking for a neutral and try to work on that is to limit test. And that's pretty much, you don't even have to look at frame data,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe trying to show someone who's come into Grand Blue and the first thing you say is look at frame data, I don't like that. I would rather say, hey, test your buttons out, feel what's good, because in Grand Blue, I believe that you get the feeling of what's a good button and what's a bad button. But if you press Catalina's 5M, you know that's a good button just by looking at it. It's far, it's quick, and it looks like when you block that you can't do anything once I come back. And so I believe if you're able to take a person that wants to learn neutral in this game, is that feel the game out. Try every character in the game, see what works for you. Some characters prefer the fast Lancelot, while other characters prefer the very, very slow and methodical Basaraga.
Mm-hmm. I,
I believe you need to just play the game more and more, and that's when you start to find the neutral in this game because it's not as simple as most would like to think.
right. It's all a comprehensive process, and I think you put it really well in that regard with how you could take it or essentially begin the process of learning the neutral within the game. I've had a lot of feedback in regards to that question in general, so I really appreciate that answer. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask one more thing for you. Do you have a favorite character in this game?
Yeah, obviously it's like my partner, as I like to call it in this fighting game, Catalina. I've been with her since I believe since the demo of the game came out way back in like 2019, 18.
I believe it was 19 or 18. You're right. Well, that's all. That's been a long time, huh?
Yeah. I knew I'd play this character the moment I started playing the game. That I would like this character regardless of how strong or how weak she is.
He just knew she was the one. He's like, you know what? Yes, I see her. Aesthetically, is pleasing. The moves are cool. Like I'm dedicated. I'm committing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hit the nail right on the head.
Alrighty. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by and giving me some games and showing me what's up. I definitely want to welcome you to play Grand Blue more. I'm gonna try to be more consistent with this game. I'm balancing like Dragon Ball and then Tekken as well, but I'm definitely gonna try to get into this more. I really enjoy this game. It's really fun. I will definitely want to link up with you guys in the Grand Blue local scene here. So I really appreciate it. And any last things you want to say?
Yeah, for sure. I would say play the game. This game is very, very fun, and unfortunately, due to the situations we had with the world, it wasn't given the chance to bloom and shine as it could have. A lot of people from around the world all say the exact same thing. I love playing Grand Blue. It's such a fun game. It's such enjoyable to play it in an offline setting. It's a game that anybody can pick up and just start playing, and you don't really need to get into the nitty-gritty interactions and super hard frame data. Not even super hard frame data, just frame data in general.
Yeah.
If you just pick up the game, you can just go ahead and go play any character, and fire within a few minutes you have an understanding what the character wants to do. So my thing is play the game, enjoy it. You don't have to be, this is the one only game I will play. Like even myself, I play a lot of variety of different games along with Grand Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Blue is just a game that I'm able to just sit down, pick up, play a few games, and enjoy myself.
And that's awesome. That's what's up, man. So for sure, I definitely want to find my niche, but I do have a lot of variety as well, and I can agree. I had one statement from a player that told me that the best players, or the quote best fighting game players, never only play one game. They play as many games as they can, or all of the games that they can, just to give themselves, like a broad knowledge of, certain things that come along with the fighting games themselves. So that's awesome. That's amazing. I'm really glad that we had the opportunity to sit down and chat and play games. So who knows, you may have another episode in this series, but we are gonna wrap up this video for today, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content,